Well, the manager of Manchester United, Ruben Amorim, when asked about why, hear me out, when asked about whether it was his decision to obviously leave Marcus Rashford out, or whether it was a decision of him to leave Marcus Rashford out for the third game consecutively in the match squad of Manchester United, or the board's decision, he came out and told us that it was his decision. And today we've obviously gone ahead to get in a story coming in through from a credible source of the Times, and they confirmed to us that even Sir Jim Ratcliffe is willing to back Amorim on Marcus Rashford's exit. Looks like Marcus Rashford and Manchester United have gone ahead, obviously come to an end. Welcome to United Matters channel. How are you guys, and who are you watching us from? I go by the names of Rock and David. Smash the like button, comment and share. If at all you're watching us for the very first time, endeavor to subscribe to this channel so as not to miss out on stories that we do upload in here on daily. I tell you what, even Gary Neville had something to say about Marcus Rashford, and I'm going to be adding this to what Sir Jim Ratcliffe has been talked about as far as Marcus Rashford's exit out of Manchester United is really concerned. How many likes on this channel, on this video? Let them be 200 likes to be smashed on this video, and the rest is really gonna be history. So Sir Jim Ratcliffe has come out and backed Marcus Rashford obviously leave, or to back Amorim on Rashford's departure out of Manchester United. And the story comes in through after Marcus Rashford has missed out on 3 consecutive games of Manchester United, that of Man City, and the other one was all about Tottenham Hotspur, and that of Bournemouth, that saw Man United lose by 3-0 at Old Trafford over the weekend. That was really very terrible. Now, the Times Sports have told us the following, that Sir Jim Ratcliffe and the United board will leave it to Ruben Amorim to decide Marcus Rashford's future. It has been made clear that Sir Jim Ratcliffe will not intervene. Now, it shows you that he's backing any decision that the manager is really going to make. You understand? And this comes in through with Marcus Rashford is really having a very bad time at the club of Manchester United. I remember when Ruben Amorim came in through, the player that went ahead to score the first goal of the Ruben Amorim era was Marcus Rashford. He scored that goal against Ipswich in just 60 seconds. That's when Marcus Rashford went ahead to obviously score that goal. And remember, after scoring that goal, he went ahead and obviously made his signature celebration, pointing one of his fingers on his head, indicating that focus, believe, and so on and so forth, and he had not done that in very many games when Eric Ten Hag was here. Now, everyone was like, Rashford is back. And remember, we played Everton, he scored a brace, and everyone was like, all right, Rashford is back. And I told them, you people, look at how we've gone ahead to score. Scoring in two games out of 3, and you're having 3 goals, that doesn't mean that you are back. It doesn't mean that you are back, because one of the reasons that we've gone ahead to slate Marcus Rashford has been him being inconsistent in what he does, and he has continuously gone ahead to show us that, and he blows hot and cold. That is Marcus Rashford for you. So as it stands, Marcus Rashford is out of plans, and he has fallen out with the manager, Ruben Amorim. And this is what I've always gone ahead to call in for at Manchester United. Eric Ten Hag came in here. He did a very good job in obviously getting out those egos. Ronaldo, Sancho, name it, clearing the dead wood. Because look at Fred, Scott McTominay, Alex Telles, and very many players that were at Manchester United. Eric Bailey, that he said, please leave the club. You are not obviously going to be able to do the needful under my era. And that was it. And by so doing, he found himself in a situation of really putting in a shift that created at least that reduced on the burden of Ruben Amorim that would have gone here to face at Manchester United. Now, Ruben Amorim is like, I want Marcus Rashford out, and the board has said, we are backing you on your decision on Marcus Rashford. And I think it's high time Marcus Rashford left. And the reason as to why the board cannot even stand in any way in any of the decisions of Ruben Amorim for Marcus Rashford's departure is simple. Rashford earns £300,000 plus a week. You get, and that's a lot of money. If United offloads him, they would have gone ahead to obviously save £1.4 million a month, and that takes us to close to £17 million a year. That will be something great. And in that amount of money, when you remove on Marcus Rashford, you can as well get in another player. 1, 2, 3 players. Because even if we sell Rashford for like £40 million, right, to any club that wants him in the January transfer window, that means would have gone ahead to obviously take off his wage burden. Then that £40 million is pure profit because Marcus Rashford is an academy player, that United obviously groomed. And that means all that £40 million will be seen as profit by Manchester United. And selling Marcus Rashford alone in the January transfer window can obviously facilitate our January transfer window to bring in like 2 players. Like we get in a player, because nowadays they do contracts. Like they say, we are obviously gonna come out and obviously pay a player, let me say Jokeres, like £60 million, or Victor Osimhen that have been linked to £60 million, meaning that £60 million, you give him a contract of 4 or 5 years. That means every year you are supposed to pay £12 million. And with this money that you've gotten from Marcus Rashford, you can pay off for the first year and get like £10 million and say, we've given you £10 million or £12 million. The first year is done, and the rest of the money is going to be coming out in installments, because that's how business is transacted. Meaning that if you take £12 million and get in Osimhen or Jokeres, that means you're left with like £28 million. £28 million, you can as well go ahead and get in another midfielder, and pay £12 million there, and then you are left with like £16 million. £16 million, you can also use it to get in another player. Meaning that in Marcus Rashford alone, we can sign 3 players. That is it. In Marcus Rashford alone, we can sign 3 players. And if those players can be gotten early enough, I think the better for the club of Manchester United, because there are some departments you look at and really understand that we need another player. For example, look at Ugarte. When you get out Ugarte, talking about Manuel Ugarte, like he got out of the game of Bournemouth, you saw to it that our midfield was really porous, meaning that we need another player who can do the Manuel Ugarte role, when he's really away. And we need another number 10. And if Rashford leaves, we can get in number 10 who can obviously play 2 roles. Like he can lead the line and also play behind the striker. I think that's what we are obviously needing as a club of Manchester United. And I know most of you will agree with me. So for me, Rashford, obviously I'm liking what the board has gone ahead to do. Let's give this manager power, or the head coach power. If he doesn't want a player here and the player is not suiting the system of the manager, let him leave. And what shows you that Marcus Rashford has gone ahead to obviously fall out with the manager, it's what he did when he was dropped in the game of Man City, when he came out and obviously gave out an interview to Henry Winter, right? And he said that he can play in any system. If it's time, he thinks that it's time for him for a new challenge. You understand? Meaning that he's like, I'm fed up of this club. I really want to go elsewhere. You understand? So that's exactly what has gone ahead obviously be said about this man known as Marcus Rashford. And I tell you what, it's not going to be business as usual for him at Manchester United unless otherwise he really lowers down his ego. If he doesn't lower down his ego, I tell you, January won't see him survive. Though his salary is going to be really a very huge block, because he might be like, I'm not going if at all don't obviously pay me my money. You understand? Because he knows to it that PSG might not be in position to obviously offer him that money. You understand? So that's what you're really looking at in here. I've also had a story of Rashford going to Barcelona and Barcelona getting us Ansu Fati. I think that's the story that I'll obviously have to dissect tomorrow, because I believe Ansu Fati can do a very good job at Manchester United, because he's a very, very good player for the club. And I know he can really play very well in that position of the two number 10s for the club of Manchester. The composure is there, and him and Amadi Diallo in that position, I tell you, we can be a more deadly team, because he's a creative player, but the problem is he has been really injury prone in the recent past. That is it. So Gary Neville obviously had the following to say about Marcus Rashford. 3 games, known in the squad. He said, it's getting to a point you leave him out 3 games on the bounce. Something really has gone wrong. I suspect it's getting to the point of the journey where it's an inevitable ending. So when you hear out what Gary Neville is saying, he's emphasizing on how Marcus Rashford cannot really turn this back, because looks like it's all dirty for him and the manager, and the relationship has all gone ahead obviously be tainted, and 2 egoistic people can't be there, you know. And Amorim is like, Rashford, I told you when I came in here that it's all about you, your mode, you know, it's all about you, because for me, I'll be there for you, but it's all about your mindset to lead you to where you deserve to be. So he hasn't gone ahead obviously listen, and I think it's time for him to leave. And I know my stance onto Marcus Rashford. He's one of those 4 players that I believe should leave: Harry Maguire, Marcus Rashford, Bruno Fernandes, Lindelof, Casemiro, Luke Shaw, Mason Mount. Those players should leave. Anthony. Those players should leave Manchester United, you know. And if we can offload those players, that means we can save huge salaries, because that means you would have gone ahead not to stay with a player who earns £300,000 a week, because Rashford earns £300,000 plus. Casemiro and Bruno earn £375,000 a week. That means you would have gone ahead obviously take off close to, you should save £1 million. You get £1 million per week, you know. Those are like £60 million a year. I think that will be something great. You get them out, you get in some money from them, use that money to obviously come up and really do some good business and bring in young and aggressive players like the likes of Ugarte, Yusileni Yoro, the Zekzis, you know, players that really have huge future ahead of them, and really on the first contract, as Ralf Rangnick came up and obviously told us that it's all about an open heart surgery that is needed at the club of Manchester United. Then Gary Neville concluded on the matter of Amorim not including Marcus Rashford in a 3rd match day squad by saying it's not looking great for both Man United, for both Marcus's future at the club or Man United keeping him. I suspect it's getting to the point in the journey where there is an inevitable ending. So that is Gary Neville for you. And for anyone who knows what Neville is all about, he is one of those that are on the team of the new Old Trafford. And him being on the team of the new Old Trafford, we all know what that means. He has those feelers, you know, all those ears to the main people. He can speak to Sir Jim Ratcliffe, and he can obviously drive a narrative of what those people really want, because he's really seen as a club legend there. And he's like, Rashford is really going to leave. And I believe it's over for Marcus Rashford. I don't see it turning around, and I think he should leave, and even others should leave, you know. And we should really call in for other calls like this, and the ruthlessness should obviously continue. If it happened on Ten Hag, it happened on Dan Ashworth, 5 months at Manchester United, sacked, you know. If it's happening on Marcus Rashford, I'm excited. I want it obviously be extended to everyone at the club of Manchester United who is not really doing his job. So we wait and see how that pans out. But on the 26th, day after tomorrow, we are obviously going to be facing one of the hardest sides away from home. Wolverhampton Wanderers sacking their manager and really getting in a new manager bounce. You know what that means. If at all you've been really watching this for some time, I tell you, it's not going to be an easy job at Molineux. And tomorrow I'm going to be dropping my match preview, and I think we'll be discussing it big and better. So that's what we had for you in here. Sir Jim Ratcliffe backs Ruben Amorim's decision to really get Rashford out of Manchester United. I don't know what your thoughts are about it. I know they are Rashford FCs, but let's all admit he has not given himself a chance and a new manager to stay at Manchester United. I sign out for now. See you later, and bye-bye for now.